Hey, what's your self-talk? Jabari is here from What's Your Self-Talk podcast. And listen, I want you to download Anchor right now. Because chances are you're listening to this and you're saying, I got some things I want to share. I have some things that I've wanted to put in a podcast form. Here's the opportunity. Anchor is free. You can do it from your phone and you can be on all the different podcast stations all in one app. Okay. So what I need you to do is stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Analysis paralysis. Do it now. You'll thank me later. What's your self-talk? Hey, what's your self-talk? This is Jabari here with another episode. And my goal is to always ask the question, what's your self-talk, to have you to learn how you can expand your potential in both your work and your business life. And on today's episode, I want to be more resourceful. And Amazon rolled out a new membership. Well, it was Audible Plus. And so basically, Audible is the audiobook platform on Amazon. And what they have done for the longest is you could sign up for 30 days, get a free trial. You can get a free credit along with that trial, or generally two. And you can buy 2 books. And then you pay for the membership. And so pay for the membership, I think it's like $14. And generally every month you will have a credit that you can use to purchase any book you choose to use. And if you want to buy another book, you can. It'll be like at a discounted price. Well, recently, this new Audible Plus, it allows you to have audiobooks that are actually included in your membership. Now, I feel like this was a huge thing for me, because most of the time I am wanting to listen to things because I'm always on the move. It's hard for me to be sitting still, and it's just easier for me to listen things on the go. And when I seen this, I about lost it, because it was so many different books that I've been wanting to listen to or read, but I've just not either had them. A couple that come off the mind is the Compound Effect, that I'm currently reading through a second time, or listening through a second time. That is so good. Highly recommend that book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. He also have The Roller Coaster of Entrepreneurship. It was The Art of War. That was a book that has been talked about by so many people who was in business. It just literally was so many books I can't even think of about them right now. Let's see. But the thing why I wanted to talk about that today is the power of what we put into our minds. And as I was reading The Compound Effect, it dawned on me. It was when we listen to books, and specifically audiobooks, that is books that are self-improvement and that's going to make us better, it brings more awareness to us. Awareness in the sense that you can do something if you're in a situation you do not like. And that's the whole purpose of when you want to listen to podcasts like this, or when you listen to, self-development books, business books. When you listen to that, you're trying to be more aware of something that you're not aware of. And so when you're more aware of something, then it pushes you to make a decision. Generally, that decision that you need to make is, am I going to choose to get better, or am I going to avoid this? And generally, if you want to get better, but you choose not to, and you kind of push it aside, You will neglect the growth that you need in that specific area, which can be harmful for you, or you can choose to do it. Well, as I was listening to the compound effect, Darren Hardy gives some great examples. And he just talks about the effect that habits have on us, but how ultimately it's over time that we can be able to see the major change. And he got to a section where it was talking about your goals. And he talked about how sometimes we focus too much on one area of life and we don't think about all the other areas. And what happens when we do that is sometimes we can have these big, ambitious goals, but they don't match up with our values. So when we try to go and pursue these goals and accomplish these things, well, we have this pull, we have this tug inside of us that is kind of like, you're not 100% agreeing. And this example he was using, it caught my attention because this is somewhere I was really struggling and put words to. And when you kind of get stuck in that season where you're like, it's something wrong, but I don't know what it is. So I can't 100% commit because there's something in me I need to figure out. And just by listening to some of the example and listening to that book, it dawned on me a lot of the goals that I've been trying to go after or trying to achieve, it doesn't align with my internal core values. And I have to be more in tune with what's going on inside of me, how I'm changing, because we change. We, as human beings, we naturally change. Especially for me, as I have a beautiful wife and a son, and you be able to spend time with them, and you start getting encouraging, and you want to do different things and expose them to different. It's those things changing. So you try to stop. When you try to still do those same goals or achieve those same goals that you did before, in my case, before my son, before where we're at right now, it's not the same. The drive, the motivation is different. And so I'll say all that to say is, thank you to Audible for rolling it out. But seriously, when you start looking at your goals and you thinking about your goals, ask yourself if you're on track where you say you want to pursue this, but even you maybe start down that journey, or it's something that you just quite don't believe that is going to be ultimately fulfilling to you. Like, success is you being fulfilled. It's complete fulfillment. And that means that is in your spiritual life, your family, your business. Like, you have fulfillment in all areas of life. And you have to understand how all my goals are going to align with that. And am I communicating that to those that I love? Like, for me, I want to communicate better with my wife. I want to communicate, hey, if I'm going to be away, if I need to be away, I want you to know this. And I want you to make sure that, we are growing or what we're working towards. And that was it's something that nobody ever really can teach you. Well, I guess they can, because they did in a compound effect, but it's something you can't learn unless you really put yourself in an environment of people or even information that's going to start pulling that and dragging that out. And so as I would listen to the compound effect, I start hearing examples. I start hearing things that I want to accomplish. I start hearing like some of the same issues that I was having. And that was it. My values and my goals do not align. And so that's why I've kind of been in a small coast mode. And so I say all that to say is, how can you see what are you struggling when it comes to your goals? And look at it from a standpoint of what are the things that you need to work on so that you can have that lasting change? Because the compound effect is, think about interest. Well, interest over time, it builds up. So it continue to compound on each other and each other. And so you constantly have more over time. Well, the same thing that goes with your habits. You've built some good or some bad habits when it comes to your goals, when it comes to your life, when it comes to just work, when it comes to everything. You've built habits. Now, how much have you compounded on that habit, whether it's good or bad? And now you have to flip that if it's a bad one, but then also understanding that we as individuals have to be more aware of what affects us and what don't affect us. It's not anybody else's job to say, hey, you're struggling with this. That's something you need to be able to see. That is something you need to be able to point out. That is something only you are responsible for, because when you can see it for yourself, when you're able to acknowledge your struggles and your concerns, then you're able to fully accept what needs to happen, what changes need to be put in place. And now I'm super grateful for this opportunity that Audible has had with enrolling in Audible Plus and allowing me to listen to my audio books, because it dawned on me that it's certain areas in my life that I need to work on. And first thing first is my goals and realigning my values. So I want you to take time and just reflect and do that. And I urge you to understand, like, when you are thinking about that, is it uncomfortable? Why is it uncomfortable? Go deeper. It's one of the reasons I don't have any social media tabs on my phone, because it's so easy to try to go get lost in social media and get into mindless stuff that you just kind of get numb and you just forget about that deep question that you was trying to answer. And so I encourage you to really take time to reflect. If you're that somebody that maybe experienced or can relate to that, I think you owe it to yourself and those around you to shut off everything and to ask yourself, do my goals align with my value? And maybe, hey, sign up for Audible. Go listen to some books. Go listen to some things and other example and other podcasts that's going to help you start revealing what are the things you're missing, what are the things you don't understand, what are the things that can pull you into experiencing the life that you know you deserve. We all deserve more. We all deserve better, but we have to go after that. It will never be handed to us. And so I challenge you to take some time to reflect and see what are the things you need to be more aware of. Hey, if you never signed up with Audible before, they're not sponsored the podcast, but by all means, just go sign up for a 30-day trial. Find one book to listen to. One book that you think that's going to help you in whatever area of life you want to improve in. So, thank you for Audible Plus, because it has allowed me to be introduced to the compound effect through my Audible Plus membership. And now it has put good, positive information in my mind to help me see how can I do better for myself, so therefore I can do better for others. Others being my son, my wife, our family that we are building, and the legacy we want to leave. And God will help me be able to do that. I have to prepare myself for that. So, thank you for listening. Go to Audible, get the Audible account, and make sure, I'm not sure if it's broken into any specific session. I just know I looked on Audible and it was Audible Plus. And so make sure you get the Audible Plus because you get access to a lot of other books, all categories, not just business, but spiritual, sci-fi. There was some other categories on there. I just kind of specifically focus on a couple of them. So make sure you get a chance to reflect, listen, put some good information to your mind. Take some time off of social media. I'm still on my social media fasting, and it's great. It's allowing so much mental clarity for myself. So make sure you share this podcast with one person. My goal is to continue to, make What's Your Self-Talk a common hashtag so that others can constantly ask themselves, what is your self-talk? What are the things that you're doing to expand your potential in both work and life? And I look forward to talking to you next week. Next week, start going into some... I'm going to just leave you with this. Next week, it's going to be related about what are the things we need to do to set ourselves up for the elections that is coming up in November. All right? So, thank you for listening. As always, go and live life by asking this one question. What's your self-talk? Thank you for listening.